Some of you are new here, so I wanted to take a minute to reintroduce myself and let you know a little bit about my history, how I'm here, why I'm so passionate about what it is that we do. And it all started with a decade-long struggle that I am eternally grateful for, and I'm going to share that story with you and why I'm so grateful for having gone through that horrendous experience for such a long period of time. But ultimately, that's what got me here. So to rewind all the way back, or most of the way back, I, growing up, had a very difficult time managing my emotions. So end of high school, early college, as I got into the party scene, I utilized alcohol to numb my emotions, and in some cases to really accentuate certain emotions that felt good at the time and led to some negative consequences afterwards. But just ungodly amounts of alcohol into my system. I probably drank more in those 2 or 3 years than most people do in their entire lives, which is not an exaggeration. It was a disgusting amount. Destroyed my body. All the while, I was taking unregulated supplements. You know, back in the day, there weren't a lot of regulations. Jack 3D being one of the prominent names, something that was kind of openly acknowledged, borderline safe at the time. I was still taking even beyond their recommended dosage. So I think it was something like no more than 4 days a week, no more than 3 scoops ever. I was taking it basically every day. They said don't take any additional caffeine on top of this for the day. I would drink a cup or two of coffee after that because I hit my threshold and I just stopped feeling the effects. So my body adapted, and even taking that ridiculous amount of caffeine and whatever else was in there, my body adapted to it. It was, a lower baseline. So went above and beyond that, and I basically melted my insides to the point where at the time I didn't know what was going on. I had heart palpitations daily, chest tightness, difficulty breathing. This all led to panic attacks as I didn't know what was happening. No real acid for reflux, which would have been more of an obvious trigger for what I ended up being diagnosed with, which was Barrett's esophagus. The only reason that we came to that conclusion, I got my heart tested, I got my lungs tested, some baseline testing for my stomach, but they said Barrett's esophagus is an old person's disease. There's no way you have this. And I was reading in my fitness nutrition specialization course about Barrett's esophagus. I'm like, I have some of these symptoms. Can we please just do an endoscopy? Sure enough, we do it. I have Barrett's esophagus. So for the next, call it 8 years, those symptoms to that level persisted. And I am talking about on a daily basis. At its worst, there were 2.5, 3 years where I was on the couch for the majority of the day, feeling what to me it felt like a heart attack. Heart pounding, chest tightness, couldn't breathe, leading into a panic attack. So those things just countering off of each other. It was just a really dark place. And that's where this started as, 10 years, 12 years of me being a shell of myself. I lost a lot of friends. I stopped going out. I had to just fine tune my entire lifestyle to get to a point where I didn't feel like dying. And when I say when I didn't feel like dying, I literally thought I was not going to make it to the age of 25. I told my parents, they thought it was some sick joke. Like, it's not funny. I'm like, I'm not kidding. I truly believed that. That's how bad I felt. And then sharing this story, over the course of the last few years on YouTube, some of you have gone through the same things and you completely understand. So it's been really cool to see this community evolve in that way. But scary times, and it forced me to recalibrate. I was on a journey that was leading to a dark place. You take, I don't want to quite call it mental instability, but emotional instability, and taking everything personal, always getting into fights, the shortest fuse you can imagine. I could go from 0 to 100 over nothing, and just a true eruption. Take that with an addictive personality. Addiction runs in my family. I was well on my way to being a lifelong alcoholic, and I was literally, whether you believe in God or whatever you want to call this higher power, I was asking for help. I couldn't stop. I knew I was on a destructive path and I needed help. And even at the beginning of this, it sucked, but I still knew I needed it. I would get to the point where I would try to drink through this in the beginning phases, going out with my friends, oh come on, just a couple drinks, whatever. I would stop getting drunk and it would just initiate these heart attack symptoms. So like it just wasn't fun anymore. There was literally no point in drinking. I quit cold turkey because I stopped getting drunk. I stopped getting buzzed. It was just every shot I took, chest would get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. It was horrendous. So to that extent, I'm happy that that had happened, because I don't know where I would be today if I had continued down that path. Couldn't regulate my emotions, couldn't control my drinking. Every time we drank, which was 4, 5, 6 nights a week in college, most of those times I was blacking out. Like I would feel good. Some is good, more is better. That's what my mantra was. A lot of us can kind of relate to. If a little bit feels good, more of this will feel better. And I would go right past that point. Lucky to be alive, to say the least. But through the course of this journey and the struggles and the years and years and years of not only dealing with those symptoms, but then even after I'd healed, I'll talk about that in a second, but I still felt like a shell of myself. I had no energy. I had nothing to give to anybody else. My girlfriend, to fiance at the time, now my wife. Our first son I was still in the transition of this as he was born, and that took it to a whole new level. But it was scary. It was eye-opening. And then it was frustrating because I was still in the health and fitness space. I was a personal trainer at the time. So I knew what a healthy lifestyle looked like, but I also knew I was making a lot of bad decisions. So the first step was to stop making the bad decisions and to figure out which good decisions were going to allow me to heal. When I was diagnosed, I had asked my doctor, okay, what do we do now? How do we heal? How do we get back to normal? His answer was that you don't. It was about managing and making sure this wouldn't progress to esophageal cancer. So typically it goes from GERD, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease. I never had the reflux. I'm pretty sure I literally melted the insides with alcohol in the supplements. Then it can progress to low-grade dysplasia. That's when the cells start to change a little bit. Then high-grade dysplasia, which is one step before cancer. And then typically esophageal cancer is where it can progress. You're at a higher likelihood of it progressing to that from the high-grade dysplasia. So I did go all the way to high-grade dysplasia. And again, lucky for me, now that qualified me for this treatment of radiofrequency ablation, which is where they would go down like a typical endoscopy, but with a laser beam essentially, and burn the affected tissue with this laser. So they'd burn it, let it heal for a month. The next month I'd come back. So every other month for 14 months, so 7 surgeries, I would get this burned. They finally got through all of it. And then they would check every 6 months to see if the Barrett was coming back. And it wasn't. 6 months go by, 12 months go by, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Are we at 6 years? We might be at 5 years right now. 5 years cleared. Hasn't come back. Because over the course of that period, I started you can't tolerate alcohol. It's hurting this. It's making it worse. We're done with that. That's out. Caffeine was a trigger for me at the time. That was out for a long time. I tried to weave it in and out, and I could tell when I wasn't ready. Got to keep it out, which was tough. When you are exhausted all the time and you cannot have caffeine, that is a difficult struggle, but that was part of where we were at. Alcohol's gone, caffeine's gone. Wasn't so much bothered by things like red sauce or these acidic foods. I'd limit them just because I was supposed to, but not a major effect. So in moderation there. Anything less than 8 hours of sleep, forget about it. My next day was shot. I needed, forget 7.5, a minute under 8 hours, and I would be feeling it the next day. Chest tightness, difficulty breathing, tunnel vision, the whole panic attack effect, the heart attack effect, whatever you want to call it. It was bad. So sleep, utmost importance. I learned that. I also wanted to figure out what I needed to do to heal my gut, to heal my esophageal lining, what was going to support that. And this started my deep dive into our microbiome, which is a fascinating tangent we can go into an entire video on for an hour, more than that. We'll just say your gut health is very important, and it's beyond just digestion. Your microbiome, these, I believe, trillions of gut bacteria, control your health. There's a gut-brain axis, so how you're feeling, your mood, overall health, hormones, you name it. Did a deep dive on that, which fascinated me and allowed me to help our personal training clients and our online training clients on a whole new level because of that. So
That was another one. Fiber, let's get that up. Help rebuild and replenish the good stuff that's happening in there. Little things along the way, like L-glutamine and some bone broth in the morning, first thing breaking my fast. And I was drinking aloe water before I ate in the morning, and the last thing I drank before bed, just to kind of coat my throat. Little things, did they help? Did they manage symptoms? Who knows? I believe in the bone broth for sure. I still do that to this day. I'll drink that, first thing in the morning. But all this to say, I'm able to take everything that I learned on my personal journey, apply it with our clients, the personal training clients at the time, and online clients with our company now. But it was basically the process of running the study on myself. So a big issue I take with especially short form media right now is these Instagram scientists can make their debate, say, oh, this is the way that this thing works. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, someone else saying, no, this is the way that this thing works. You can basically take the data and spin it however you want in a lot of situations. People fighting on opposite sides, literal opposite sides. And these guys who are smart people doing the arguing. The point is, if they didn't do that study on you, we don't necessarily know that you're going to respond the same way. It's typically an overwhelming amount of data that leads in one direction, but it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, and you haven't done it yourself, which is why I do like to weigh anecdotal. Take that anecdotal evidence and let that play a role, a more meaningful role than maybe it has in the past. What we've been building behind the scenes, we've been calling it Project B. Again, for those of you who have been along for the ride, for those of you who are new to this channel, the reason I'm talking about all this and introducing this conversation with the newer themes of videos I've been putting out lately is that's shaped this. That is why I am so passionate about what we are doing, what we are building. I'm so grateful for that journey because I struggled for such a long time. But I also I sought out resources, which I know not everybody does. We kind of accept what we're told, especially when it comes from a doctor or the establishment of some sort that has a sense of authority. We just kind of take it for what it is, and then we settle. And I don't want you to have to settle. I want you to live your best life, regardless of what your circumstances are. And I understand we're all gonna have to struggle to a point. But if we can learn, and we have the tools to learn, to get out of that phase sooner, and to learn from that phase, and to then allow that season of struggle to show us how to thrive in the future. Those are the things we want to provide to you guys. We want to give you the tools to be able to do that, to run the study on yourself. That's why we're so passionate about it. That's why I'm so grateful for that journey, because I would not be where I am today. We would not be where we are today had I not gone through that and had such an appreciation for what I learned, and now for life, and now for everything that we're building. Wouldn't be here, wouldn't be in the same spot, surrounded by these incredible people and doing these incredible things, and so passionate about this incredible mission to make the world a happy, healthy place. Everything starts with your health. It's the foundation. And as unsexy as that can sound sometimes, I don't have time to go for a run. I don't want to lose the last 30 pounds. Think about everything that affects. When you are dealing with whatever struggle that is, whether it's an underlying health issue, some type of comorbidity, or you're just overweight, it's been a while since you've really been in shape, it impacts your energy. It impacts your mood. It impacts your relationship with others, your production at work, how you interact with your spouse. So whether you are trying to overcome this health issue, or you just want to be confident again, you want to feel good when you take your shirt off in front of your husband or your wife, you want to have the energy to keep up with your kids, to do all these things. We want to provide the tools to you and to make them accessible to everybody. It's such a confusing time, especially with AI. We've got Google, we've got YouTube, and now we have things like ChatGPT and Grok where we can ask all the questions. The information is there. But which of the information sources are best? Which thing should I take? And even if this thing is heavily backed by the data, is it going to work for me? It's overwhelming. So yes, it's there, but we still don't have a plan to implement it or to know if it works best for us. So that's why whether you're working with our team, with a coach, or some of the things that we're putting out, our freebies, our app, the platform we're building now, we want to simplify it for you. We want to give you the tools to learn on your own or with us what will work best for you. And that's going to be our impact. As your health improves, as your confidence grows, as you're feeling better, every other area of your life gets better. And that's why the key to all of this isn't just, cramming some crazy protocol in for the next 30, 60, 90 days. It's rebuilding your lifestyle around the things that mean the most to you. The biggest priorities, the biggest, we call them moving the biggest rocks, which is what's going to move the needle of your health the most. Not these tiny little things that just take up time. What are the most efficient things you can be doing? 10, 20-minute workout, bodyweight workout at home. That's all you have time for. A walk in the morning, a walk in the evening. Optimizing your nutrition in a way that isn't overwhelming. All of this stuff. Meditating 10 minutes before bed, 5 minutes before bed, reading a few pages before bed. These little tweaks go a long way. And that's what I learned over the course of my journey. That is what I figured out, is that it's not one big thing, and there's no magic pill, there's no magic bullet. It's refining all the little things. So, excited to keep sharing this whole journey, this whole process with you guys. I wanted to give you my origin story so you can know where we're coming from and why I'm so passionate about this. Daddy. Hey. What's up, big dog? You snuck in at the last minute.
Yep.
This is my why. This kid right here. And I got 2 more upstairs. And the dogs. And your mama. Did you know before you were born, I was pretty sick?
Why?
I had what's called Barrett's esophagus.
What is that?
How can I explain it? Eroded. So basically kind of like a big burn in my throat. You know, I can't swallow right now. That's kind of part of it from what they used to do, but I was always tired. And then when you were born, I was really worried that I would have a hard time taking care of you. So every day, I had to figure out what I needed to do to feel better so that I could be there for you. Am I doing a good job? Yeah?
Why didn't they fix your throat yet?
They're working on it. They're trying to figure out why I can't swallow. But I'll take that over how I felt. Stretch my throat or
But like, how did it happen?
I didn't take care of myself when I was younger. You know how now we're active and we do healthy things and we think about what we eat and everything in moderation. We do those things because I wasn't doing those things before and I got really sick. So I want to make sure you...
What were you doing?
Eating, drinking a lot of bad things, and just not sleeping a lot and not taking care of myself. So now we got it all dialed in so you guys hopefully never ever have to deal with something like that. So what do we do? What kind of fun stuff do we do?
Ride my quad.
Ride your quad.
And play Mario.
We do play Mario. When do we go for walks?
In the night, in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of food do we eat?
Healthy food.
What's that look? What do we have for dinner sometimes?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. From McDonald's?
No.
Costco?
Yes.
Just bare chicken nuggets. Delicious and nutritious. What about breakfast? What's breakfast look like?
Waffles.
The Kodiak cakes?
Waffles.
You didn't know they're called Kodiak cakes?
No.
No. What else do we have? What's Cora like?
Eggs.
Eggs, and sometimes you guys have what?
Sausage.
And sometimes...
Chicken nuggets.
For breakfast?
Yeah.
But yogurt and granola butter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what do we do at night before bed?
Read Jack and Annie.
Read Jack and Annie, the Magic Treehouse. So all these things, we're incorporating simple habits. Try not to make it a thing, but just regimen from a young age. So this is how they grow up. This is their norm. We eat right. A lot of nutrients. We enjoy ice cream once in a while. Not a big deal. Everything in moderation.
Sometimes we enjoy cookies.
Sometimes we have cookies. We'll have some birthday cake for Cora's birthday this weekend.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we could do cake tomorrow for her real birthday. Her party's on Sunday. Movement, we're outside, we're riding the quad or playing soccer, go for a walk after breakfast, go for a walk usually after dinner. It's all just normal, right?
But
Normal day.
like, what were you eating that was bad?
It really wasn't what I was eating, it was what I was drinking. A lot of, you know how we take supplements and vitamins now? I took a lot of stuff that wasn't safe back then.
What was it?
They're called pre-workout. You know my pre-workout now? It's not a stimulant. So a stimulant has caffeine, like coffee, and gives us a lot of energy. So I don't take one with caffeine now, and it actually had some sneaky ingredients that were very bad for you.
Like how bad?
Really bad. It's actually against the law. They closed because it was so bad.
How is it against the law?
Just what they put in there. It wasn't supposed to be in there. It's really bad.
Like, what was it?
I don't remember the name. It's kind of like meth. Meth is a very bad drug. Something like that. Meth, I remember reading the article from Jack 3D. Meth-like
So where
substance.
did they lock it down?
They just had to close it and get rid of it.
What'd they do with it?
Threw it all in the garbage can.
I thought they just took it to the dump.
Nope, pretty much. I love you.
Love you.
All right, we're out for real this time.